All right, this lesson is for Math 9s, and we're looking at multiplying polynomials. We're going to look at multiplying a binomial or greater by a trinomial or greater. And we're going to use our distributive property method to do this question. All right, so we're going to take this 3x and we're going to multiply it with our trinomial. And then we're going to take our 4, or plus 4, and multiply it by that trinomial, and just show that in that distributive property method. So we take the 3x and multiply it with the trinomial. So it becomes 2x squared minus 3x plus 5. And then we have to take that plus 4 and multiply it with that trinomial. Like so. All right, and then this starts to look a little bit more similar to what we have seen before. So now we would go ahead and multiply this 3x with everything inside the bracket. So like this. And then we would take the 4, multiply it by everything inside this bracket. And then you would collect any like terms and simplify. All right, so let's multiply 3x times 2x squared. So 3 times 2, that's 6. And then x times x squared, you will add the exponents. So x1 and x to the power of 2. We add the exponents, that becomes x to the power of 3. Then we have 3x times negative 3x. That will become negative 9 x squared. And then lastly, we have 3x times 5. That just becomes 15x. All right, so our first bracket is complete. Let's do the next bracket here. So we have to multiply the 4 to the 2x squared. That gives me a positive 8x squared. And then 4 times negative 3x, which is negative 12x. And then 4 times 5, which is 20. All right, so now we would go ahead and collect any like terms. So I have negative 9x squared and a positive 8x squared. And I have 15x and negative 12x. So those are the ones I can collect together. So 6x cubed, negative 9x squared, and plus x squared gives me just negative x squared. And then 15x minus 12x, that's plus 3x, and then plus 20. All right, and that's the final answer, simplified. So our next example here, we have 3 binomials being multiplied together. So when you encounter something like this, multiply 2 of them together first using the FOIL method, and then multiply that with the last binomial. So if we were looking at this one, I can multiply this out first. So x times x, that's x squared, and x times negative 6 is negative 6x. Then negative 5 times x, that's negative 5x. And then negative 5 times negative 6, that's plus 30. And then I'll collect the 2 middle terms together. So negative 6 and negative 5 together, that gives me negative 11. So I have x squared minus 11x plus 30. All right, so that was those 2. And then I still have to multiply the x plus 3 with what we just have here. So we still have to multiply it by x plus 3. All right, so x times x squared, that gives me x to the power of 3. X times negative 11x, that's negative 11x squared, and then x times 30, 30x, and then we have to multiply the 3 with everything inside, so plus 3x squared, 3 times negative 11x, negative 33x, and then 3 times 30, which is 90. And then we would collect our like terms. So we have negative 11x squared and 3x squared. And then we have the 30x and the negative 33x that we would collect together. All right, so we end up with x cubed, and then we have negative 11 plus 3, which is negative 8x squared. And then we have 30x minus 33, which is negative 3. And then we just have the plus 90. All right, so our next example here, we had a trinomial multiplied by a trinomial. So I've already set it up as a distributive property where I took the first term in the first bracket and multiplied it by the second bracket. Then I took the second term and multiplied it by the bracket. Then I took the third term and multiplied it with that bracket. So let's go through this then. So here, 3x squared times x squared will give me 3x to the power of 4, and then 3x squared times plus x gives me plus 3x to the power of 3, and then 3x squared times negative 1 is negative 3x squared. All right, next bracket, negative 4x times x squared. That's negative 4x to the power of 3. Negative 4x times x is negative 4x squared. Negative 4x times negative 1, that is plus 4x. And our last bracket, negative 4 times x squared is negative 4x squared. And then negative 4 times x is negative 4x, and then negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4. All right, so there we have it, and now we just have to collect our like terms. So we have 3x cubed and negative 4x cubed that we would collect together. And we have negative 3x squared, a negative 4x squared, and negative 4x squared. And we have, just grab another color, we have a positive 4x and then a negative 4x. All right, so let's collect that together. So 3x to the power of 4, and then 3x to the power of 3, and negative 4x to the power of 3. So 3 minus 4, that just leaves me with negative x to the power of 3. And then we have negative 3, a negative 4, and a negative 4. That gives me negative 11x squared. Then we have our 4x, positive 4x minus 4x. 4 minus 4, that's 0. And a last term we have is just a plus 4. All right, so note again that I've gone from my highest exponent and down to my lowest exponent, and then my constant term at the end.